I'm wearing these threads to invoke the aloha spirit. Actually, that's one thing I would tell Tulsi to stop saying is aloha. Please stop saying aloha. But she won't, because that's part of her and who she is, and I respect that. But I'm making this video. I'm not posting any links in the description, I don't think. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. But the reason I'm making this video is I'm trying to promote Tulsi Gabbard. And why am I trying to promote Tulsi Gabbard? Well, because Tulsi Gabbard, I think, is the best candidate for president. As far as I'm concerned, she is my president. The only reason she's not my president is, unfortunately, she hasn't been elected yet. And unfortunately, the U.S. voters don't seem to know who the hell she is, and the ones that do, for some reason, think Bernie Sanders is a better choice. Don't understand that, being that Sanders has done nothing while Tulsi has delivered and served valiantly in the armed services. Perhaps not valiantly as other people have, but she served valiantly in a medical unit doing her diligence to protect the lives of our soldiers. And as a soldier, and as a member of Congress trying to protect the American people. I should say the American citizenry. I don't necessarily believe that there is a unified American people, and I'm going to get into that. A lot of people have been calling Tulsi Gabbard a right-wing grifter, saying she's trying to become a right-wing grifter and grift the right wing and try and get all the rat-wingers to vote for her. Rat-winger, 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 rat-winger. Tulsi Gabbard, like me, has been saying the same thing Tulsi Gabbard has been saying for a long time. She's not a right-wing grifter. She is an American. Now, I made a video a couple of years ago, actually, when she was running for president, called Fascists for Tulsi Gabbard. If I leave something in the description, it will be that, if I still have it. I might have gotten rid of it to avoid a YouTube purge. But my point is Tulsi Gabbard is an American. She stands for the Constitution of the United States. She is a progressive. She is a true Teddy Roosevelt-style progressive. I am a true Teddy Roosevelt-style progressive. She might not call herself a Teddy Roosevelt-style progressive, but she is. The only place where she's not is I think she is a little bit more of a peacenik than Teddy Roosevelt, and I don't have a problem with that. In fact, I think we might need more of that in the future, and I'm not like that personally, but that doesn't mean I don't support her or don't recognize that we might need some of that. Okay? I'm not the one running for president. She is. Now, when I made my video years back saying fascists for Tulsi Gabbard, a bunch of morons had stated on Facebook, I had Facebook at the time, so you know it's long ago, that Tulsi Gabbard doesn't want my support because she denounced David Duke. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, David Duke is one of those people that despite how wonderful his endorsement is, you're kind of obligated to denounce the poor guy. But the fact of the matter is, what people need to understand is whether Tulsi Gabbard wants my support or doesn't want my support, she has my support. And if we want her to win, she needs everyone's support. But the fact is, the issues that Tulsi Gabbard runs on, for example, drinkable water, okay? A couple months ago, I had a lack of drinkable water in my community because of a rainstorm. It's like we're living in a third world country. We had a boil notice for our water, and even then it was recommended that we still not drink the water because of chemicals that might be in the water from road runoff and things like that. And this is not cool. Now, I've gone all over this country, mostly out west and down south, and what a lot of people don't understand is a lot of the water in this country is not drinkable. One of the reasons I thought Trump would be a decent president was because he promised to fix the issue in Flint, Michigan with the water. Now, it's not just Flint, Michigan, okay? And by the way, just a newsflash, the water in Flint, Michigan, as far as I know, still can't be drank, okay? But the other problem is it's not just Flint, Michigan. It's New Mexico. It's Arizona. It's all over this country. We have issues with drinkable water. Now, as far as I know, Tulsi Gabbard hasn't talked about desalination or atmospheric water generation, but she has tried to promote the concept of, well, Jesus Christ, we might want some clean water in the United States for the people to drink. If you think this is a Republican issue or a Democrat issue or a right-wing issue or a left-wing issue, you're an idiot. That's the bottom line. You're an idiot if you think having clean water to drink and clean air to breathe is a political issue. It's not a political issue. It's an issue that should concern every single U.S. citizen. Okay? Now, a lot of people might wonder, do they think I moderated my views over the years? I would say yes, I probably have moderated my views. And the reason why is because I think pretty much every political system is full of shit. Okay? Which is one of the reasons I think I was drawn so heavily to justicialism. Because Juan Perón admits that politics are merely a means to an end. And that end is making sure that the people are as well taken care of as possible. Now, I do believe in a constitutional republic. And I do believe the reason we have a constitutional republican system is, unfortunately, people are stupid. And you need the right people in office to look out for the people. Tulsi Gabbard is one of the right people. Okay? So that's why I support Tulsi Gabbard. Now, about her being a right-wing grifter because she's defending Kyle Rittenhouse. No, she's defending Kyle Rittenhouse. You know what? I am going to put links in the description. Check the description for links. The reason she's supporting Kyle Rittenhouse, and she's not even supporting Kyle Rittenhouse, what she's pointing out is our government, who is charged with protecting the U.S. citizenry, and a libertarian would even agree with this, because even Ayn Rand says the only position that the U.S. government has is to protect the people from other people that would do them harm. So policing is a right of the government. And the military is the right of the government, and this is upheld by Ayn Rand. Some libertarians want private policing and private military because they never read The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli and don't understand the threat of mercenaries. But I'm sure that my sweet, 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 sweet Tulsi Gabbard has read The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. And if she has not read The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli, I hope she's following my videos and reads The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. My point is that too many people are too stupid to understand that we have to obey justice, objective justice, which is not being served by what's going on in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Get it? So Tulsi Gabbard is not defending Kyle Rittenhouse. Tulsi Gabbard is defending justice and the right use of force by the government, and the fact that the government did not use the right use of force to prevent other people from feeling obliged to take the law into their hands. If anybody remembers, and I'll put links to the Black Lives Matter riots in the description. If anybody remembers the Black Lives Matter riots and the Antifa Black Lives Matter insurrection, a lot of people felt obliged to protect their property, a lot of people felt obliged to protect their community, and a lot of people felt obliged to protect their fellow Americans from the Antifa Black Lives Matter insurrection. An insurrection of insurrectionists that have literally attacked the federal government, have attacked federal courthouses, have attacked the White House, something that has not been done since the British in the War of 1812. Okay? So I think what Tulsi's getting at, and I'm not trying to put words in her mouth, but I think what she's getting at is, when you have an insurrection on your hands, like we did with the Antifa BLM insurrection, certain folks like Kyle Rittenhouse get a little scared and might feel a little bit obliged to do their part to protect their community, to protect their families, to protect their property. Okay? And this is what happened with that couple in Missouri that were, unfortunately they've lost their right to have guns because they were trying to protect their property from literal aggressive criminals that had wandered onto a private road and were threatening them and threatening to harm their animals, their property. They're threatening to harm their property. Well, what are they supposed to do? They didn't shoot anybody. They came out of their homes with their weapons and brandished their weapons, looking like a couple of crazy people. By that I mean they looked uncoordinated and like they've never held a weapon before in their life. But my point is, these people were not aggressive criminals. They were a couple of attorneys, and they were simply defending their property and their community from terrorists, from terrorist insurrectionists. Okay? So I think what we need to remember here is this is not right-wing grifting. This is pro-Americanism. And if you're not pro-American, why the hell are you, this is the problem that we have. We see this all the time with a lot of this crap, okay? With, like Tulsi Gabbard was saying, the ringtone of one of the police was God Bless the USA, which immediately has this police officer seen as some sort of white supremacist lunatic. Kyle Rittenhouse was immediately pegged as a white supremacist lunatic. A lot of people have been pegged as white supremacist lunatics. Some people that were white supremacists, for example, James Holmes. And I'm a big believer that James Holmes should have been freed from prison and should have never been put in prison in the first place, because the gentleman was blocked in and his car was being attacked. The gentleman's vehicle was being attacked. And we saw a lot of this during the Black Lives Matter Antifa insurrection when they were attacking vehicles and getting run over and things like that. And that gentleman, James Holmes, was simply trying to find safety. He was trying to get to safety. He wasn't trying to harm anyone. Now, yes, his political views of being a white supremacist make him look guilty. But was he really guilty, or was he under duress? I think he was under duress. Simply the same as Kyle Rittenhouse. If somebody points a gun at you and you're holding a gun, what are you going to do? Okay? And I'm not a gun nut. People know me. I'm for increased gun control. Okay? So think about that. People have seen my videos. I'm for increased gun control. But if you have a firearm and somebody points a firearm at you, what are you going to do? Not to mention the character of the people that were shot by Mr. Rittenhouse. We're not exactly the most gentle and caring and pro-American folks anyway. These were, again, Antifa, BLM, insurrectionist terrorists. Think about that. Now, would you consider Kyle Rittenhouse to be anti-American, a gentleman that was a cadet at a fire department to help him prepare to enter an EMT training school, to help him become an EMT? He was trying to protect a friend's property. I mean, do you consider him anti-American? Is having a ringtone, God Bless the USA, the sign of an anti-American? I mean, we're getting to the point now where concerned parents are being considered anti-American for being opposed to critical race theory, an anti-American cultural Marxist theory that blames white people simply for existing. Okay? So, I mean, you're having an issue with pro-Americanism. Being pro-American is not a left-wing thing or a right-wing thing. If you're not pro-American, you're not an American in my book. Okay? I don't care if you're a liberal Democrat. I don't care if you're a communist. I don't care if you're a National Socialist. I don't care if you're a fascist. I don't care if you're a Green Party member. I don't care what your political leaning is. But if you're not pro-American, you're anti-American. You're against America. And there's no neutral ground. And that's the thing. It's like you're a traitor to this country. I believe that the Trump insurrectionists, the people that attacked the Capitol when Donald Trump was president and tried to overturn the election, I believe they were insurrectionists. And I believe they should do life terms in prison. But what about all these other insurrectionists that led up to that? And in fact, I think that the Trump insurrectionists were emboldened by the Antifa BLM insurrection, in the sense that law enforcement did nothing against the Antifa BLM insurrection, and it emboldened the Trump insurrectionists to think that they could get away with it. Okay? So, when you have a lawless state, people act in a lawless manner. And that's what Tulsi Gabbard's point was. She wasn't necessarily defending Kyle Rittenhouse. She's not a right-wing grifter. I don't see her as right-wing or left-wing. She's just pro-American. I don't even see me as right-wing or left-wing. I'm just pro-American. And honesty, fascism is not right-wing or left-wing. It's actually centrist, if you really look at the policies. It's just there's no political ideology in America that fascism actually fits into. And I do consider myself more of a justicialist than a fascist. As you gain more data and you gain a better understanding of things, your political opinions tend to change. My opinions on race have got much milder over the years. A lot of my opinions have mellowed out over the years as I've gained a better understanding of things. And you get that better understanding by questioning things, asking the right questions and things of that nature. But how can you ask the right questions if you're not allowed to get the answers? And that's what's going on, is nobody wants the answers out there. Nobody wants people to know things anymore. And I'm getting real tired of people trying to peg Tulsi Gabbard as being anti-American or a right-wing grifter or any of these things, or my favorite, a Russian agent, when she's not. She is a U.S. veteran. She's served this country. She continues to serve this country. Okay? I'm going to leave a link to her channel. I hope people watch all of her videos. I will defend her until the cows come home. And because she's a member of the, well, I don't know if she's a member of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I think she's a member of an offshoot branch of that. But because the International Society for Krishna Consciousness does have so many farming communities, literally, I will defend her until the cows come home.